welcome back to the morning show. We're 22 minutes away before we get to 8 o'clock, and it is officially Youth Month. And during the month of June, we're all about celebrating the youth of South Africa, and so is the Market Theatre. And joining me this morning in the studio are the directors of two of the Market Theatre's Youth Month plays, Tabang Chauke as well as Devon Flemmer, to tell us all about what we can expect at the Market Theatre when it comes to celebrating all things youth. Gentlemen, welcome to the morning show.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you here and telling about the work that you're doing at the Market Theatre. And I'm really excited about it, but I want to ask you a quick question before we get into the interview. Do you remember the first play you did?
Sure, that's a good question. I think it would have been in high school.
Yeah.
That would have been in high school. I think it was called Gypsy. When I was in grade 7.
And yourself, Tabang?
I don't remember the name of the play. What I remember is that I was in a garage, theater group, and they were like, "Yo, you good?"
Yeah, I was hoping you guys were going to tell me you were 3 and you were 3 in a concert play, but it's fine. That's a topic for another day.
Sure.
This is interesting for me to hear you guys venturing into theater productions, especially during Youth Month, in a time where social media and technology is overtaking everything. Do you find that it is still relevant and impactful to have youth in the theatre?
Yeah, I do think it is. I think it's really important because if you think about social media, it kind of moves us completely away from the live experience, right? It's very much online, whereas theatre always brings us back to a live encounter that we have with our audience, and we're living and breathing in the same space, which is really important because then those are when actual conversations can happen, right? That aren't distanced or misinterpreted, which often social media does.
Sure, that's very true. That distance that we see is sometimes making it difficult then for people to engage. And speaking of engaging, how do you find that theatre helps young people to manage expressing themselves well? Self-expression, essential skills that they develop from being in the theatre and seeing these productions, being in that live room.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it, and he ended up saying something like, it makes young people to be more brave and more vulnerable, and it opens them up to have conversations that are hard to have. And with both our plays, I think there are serious issues that we are dealing with in each of those plays, and I think it's a great way to start conversations that are hard to have.
I'm so glad that you say that, because I think it's always so interesting to see how art is able to be a catalyst for conversation for various topics that's relating to what a person is feeling, but also social topics and social issues that we find happening around us. Do you find theatre still creates that room as well for a person to be confronted with the realities of the society we live in?
Yes, I do completely believe it does that, and I think both of our plays do definitely confront in a very real way, right? It definitely takes issues such as cyberbullying, suicide, feminism, all of those sort of topics that we are seen as taboo, that we tend to shy away from, and it really puts them in the light of going, let's talk about this, because often leading to misunderstanding is because nobody has conversations or is willing to have the conversation, and theatre definitely allows that. And the Market Theatre as a space is definitely a space that allows for conversation to happen. During the 1970s and 80s, it was the first multiracial theatre in the country that actually had audiences of both black people and white people coming in and talking about the issues of what was happening during apartheid. And it allowed for dialogue and conversation to happen and go, what are we doing as a society? And our youth now are facing a very tough world that they're in. Remember, they've been there was COVID, where most of their education was happening online. Their friendships that they've tried to maintain were happening online, and that is the world that they had to learn to navigate. But often we forget that in the cyber world, what we say is permanent. And if you say something permanent, and it is incorrect just because of a moment of being angry with somebody, how does that implicate you?
And being aware and cognizant of these realities that they're facing. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, and you speak about how both the plays actually talk about that. Tabang, I'll come to you first. Tell me about Kidding and the play that you're directing, the storyline. What are some of the things that we can expect in it?
Sure. So in Kidding, some of the themes that are there are self-destruction. It explores the themes of rape, of not speaking up, of love. And I have to be honest, it's been an amazing experience. I love my cast, they're amazing. I tell them that every day. And how the play came about is the Market Theatre gave us an option they said that we must come up with concepts for our show that we're going to take to Grahamstown. And Kamo, my classmate, came up with the concept that we are doing now. So we're taking it from a true life story of someone. So we are creating based on that, and so they are constantly devising from that experience. And yeah, it's been amazing because I think with them, going back to what we were speaking about, their level of confidence and trust in what they're doing, it's so amazing. Because each and every time when you walk into the rehearsal room, I'll say, hey, create a song. Then 2 minutes, bah, I'm like, what?
But it's also so cool because it's based off of life as they're living it as well. So that's why it comes so naturally. Devon, let's talk about When They Go Low, which is the play you're currently directing.
So
what are some of the themes
I first want to bring it to, so I'm a teacher at Salle Holy Cross College. And our school as a community is very much about outreach. That's where we are. Our community is very much about what are we doing for society. And so I must thank Salle Holy Cross College for giving us this opportunity. When I approached this topic last year and saying this is something that our youth are going through, there's so many implications in terms of what youth are doing online, in school spaces, and how that might implicate a school. And when I addressed the management team, they were very positive in terms of making this something that we as a school could start talking about, because it's difficult in schools now to bridge these sort of discussions. So I really thank Salle Holy Cross College for giving me that opportunity. And then also in the Market Theatre, Greg Homan, the artistic director at the Market Theatre, giving us this opportunity to now bring it into a space where it will hold so much more gravitas. So When They Go Low is funny enough based off Michelle Obama's quote, when they go low, we go high. And that whole idea when her and Barack Obama were in the presidency, the discrimination that they experienced as a presidency of color for the first time in America, and how their daughters experienced a lot of discrimination at school, questioning their dad's sort of allegiance to the country, etc. And how then they came up with this phrase, when they go low, we go high. So at any point when you experience any sort of discrimination, you must go above that. How do you not retaliate in a way of defense, but how do you change your way of thinking about it, going, okay, somebody's treated me like this, how do I behave in a way that is more appropriate? So the play follows the story of this young girl who goes to have a party, it's a frenzy, pictures are taken, and then these pictures go onto social media, and then the rumors that start spreading.
This is actually so crazy because it's a reflection of what's happening now. I mean, we hear about these type of things continuously. It's like on a daily, weekly, constant basis that is happening in schools, and creating the platform where we're able to have these conversations and confronted with what will you do when they go low, when you choose to go high. And I love that it's in the space of a theater where it encourages conversation. For someone who's listening right now and thinking, man, I would love to, one, be there myself, and two, bring my kids to come through. Where can they go? When is it happening? How much are the tickets?
Oh, so the tickets for Kidding are 50 Rand for 16 June. So they can find the tickets on web tickets or find them at the door. But I encourage people to go on web tickets.
Just go on web tickets. I guarantee that you've got a ticket for sure. And it's out there.
But When They Go Low, the standard price is 120 Rand. And then if you go and phone the theatre directly, you can do school bookings, which is essentially what we want, and then that's a reduced rate of 100 Rand per ticket. Also, you can go and on web tickets, which is really cool. So go onto web tickets and get your tickets. And what's also cool, I just want to say this is, what are we doing is we're working with Drama for Life, which is a postgraduate course at Wits University, and one of the educators is going to be at each show, and after each show, then we're going to have post conversation. So we're going to be sitting with the audience and the actors, and we're actually going to have conversations around the issues.
I like this so much because you're not left with the feeling and the thoughts in yourself. So you have a place where you're able to actually take them out, make sense of them, navigate what that looks like for you, leaving the theater with some of the thoughts and themes that were hanging from the show. Gentlemen, thank you so much. All the best with all the rehearsals. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. And you, TMS family, you want to make sure that you get yourself tickets to what is going to be a fantastic celebration of young people doing fantastic things, taking it to the theater, taking young people to the theater to tell the stories of young people. Tabang and Devon joining us right here on the morning show, and you want to head on over to the Market Theatre and see what is going to be happening there. Still so much more coming up, so stay with us. Sure.